And I want you to stand with your feet hip distant apart. We're gonna run through a little bit of a warm up. And if you can, I want you to close your eyes, let your arms just hang out of your shoulders, let your legs sort of hang out of your hips, but let your head start to grow really tall out of your neck. So take some big deep breaths in and out. 2 more big deep breaths as you're just kind of standing in space, grounding through your feet, especially on your inhale. And then 1 more big deep breath, and I want your arms to open to the side and go up to the ceiling. And then you're gonna dive forward and curl down towards the floor and just hang wherever you can. Maybe you need to bend your knees if your hamstrings are feeling really tight. And just kind of maybe rock forward and back or side to side a little bit, whatever feels like a good stretch, a good movement for you. Twisting around like Christina's doing is good. And then with the arms hanging out of the shoulders, the head hanging out of the neck, I want you to tuck your tail, scoop your belly, keep the knees soft, and peel up bone by bone. Let the arms hang down. Yeah. And then on your next inhale, you're gonna lift those arms to the sky. She's gonna rotate to the right and curl down over her right leg. She's gonna bend her right knee and lean into the left hip to stretch that left piriformis area, outer hip area. And then curling up, I want her arms to lift with her ears. Big inhale. And then as she exhales, y'all go ahead and turn to the other side and rotate and then go down. Once you're down, or maybe on the way down, bend that left knee this time, lean into the right hip to stretch it out. And then on a big inhale, the arms come up with your ears. And then exhale and settle them down. Nice. All right, so this time you're gonna inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, curl straight down towards the floor. Be able to walk your hands out onto the floor into your elephant or downward dog position. Nice, and then go ahead and just stretch here. Kind of push your tail back towards your heels like we do in downward dog, and then start to tread through the feet. Rising up onto one toe and then, or one foot and then the other. Make sure you're breathing deep into the upper back. Excellent, and then you're gonna drop both heels down and just stretch back. Get those calves and ankles to stretch. Excellent, and then softly come to your knees. Good, so cat stretch here. Go ahead and flatten those feet like Christina just did, and then hands right under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a big inhale at first, and then as you exhale, round your back to the ceiling, tuck your head and tail, push the floor away from you. And then go the other way on an inhale. Excellent. Exhale, rounding, pushing the floor away. And then inhale to return the other way. Excellent. One more time. And return to a flat back position when you finish the arch. All right, so from here, I want you to take your right arm out in front of you and just hold it up by your ear. And then get ready. When you don't lift your left leg, but drag it out along the floor so the toes are on the floor, like so. You can get it, there you go. And then before you pick up your back leg, I want you to really pull your bottom ribs in, pull your belly in toward your spine, flatten that out, and then use your glute muscle to pick up that left leg. And hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, and set it down. Excellent, draw that knee back in, lower the right arm. So we're gonna lift the left arm this time, get it where it needs to be, right at ear level if possible. Pull in your belly, press that leg back along the floor, the opposite leg, and then really cinch the abs in towards the spine. And then when you're ready, squeeze the glute to pull that leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then set the foot down, drag the knee back in, push into a little child's pose. Take 2 big deep breaths here. And then I want you to snake out onto your belly for a quick little baby swan extension as part of our warm-up. So feet are going to be apart because this is still part of the warm-up. And then hands, just like Christina's doing, right next to your shoulders or your ears, about as wide as your mat. You're only coming up till the bottom ribs are still on the floor. So first thing she's going to do is activate the back of the head by floating her face up about an inch or less off the floor, drawing the shoulders down, and then she's going to lift from her upper back, looking out in front of her slightly, maybe just to the front of the mat. Inhale there, and then exhale, lower down. You need to press your pubic bone into the floor to protect your low back, even though you're not lifting very high, and do that 3 more times for me. Inhaling on the way up. Good, and exhaling on the way down. Last 2. Nice job. Make sure you're not kinking your neck back. There should be no creases in the back of your neck on this one. And last one here. And lowering down. Very good. So push back so that you can come to a seated position. And I'm going to have you scoot closer to this end of the mat because when you lie down, I want you to have plenty of room. So if you're on a mat, I want you to have, or even if you're not, don't let your couch be right behind you because I want you to have plenty of room behind you because we'll be rolling down in just a moment. So just to finish up the warm-up, we're going to do some ab curls and then we're going straight into the hundreds and the workout. So start with bent knees for me. Yep, and then hands are going to be on the thighs, right close to the knees, or sorry, like holding the back of the knees area. Yep. So I want you to use your hands on your legs to pull yourself really tall, lift the crown of the head to the sky, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to curl partway back to the point where your arms straighten out. Yep, soften the shoulders a little and look out in front of you a little bit, maybe toward your feet more than toward your belly, so your chin's not too tucked. And then use your hands on your legs to help you pull yourself up, round forward, and then grow tall at the top. Soft shoulders, head high, inhale. Exhale, curl down and back. And then round over and then grow tall. We're going to do one more like this, just warming up the low back and the abs. And then we'll make it a little bit more challenging. And growing tall. This time, reach your arms out in front of you, palms face each other. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, make sure you take your head with you as you go backwards, so your chin doesn't come too far down and your head doesn't stay cocked forward. It's back into the back of your head. I'm sorry, partway down. Yep, and then rolling back up. Your legs may straighten as you go, and you're only going halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way. Right about there. That's it. And up. And again. Good, and lifting up. Now she's maybe not going to go as far because you guys are going to add rotation. So flexion and rotation can be a little bit dangerous for the spine if you're not controlled. So really don't go too far back. So curl partway back to where you feel your abs working, and then hold there, and you're going to rotate the chest to the right and then back to center. I want you to exhale on your turn. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Great job on the shoulders staying low and the head high. Last one each side. And center, and then curl all the way up. I'm actually going to have you guys do a quick side bend because we've got every plane of movement so far except for side bending. We didn't technically do inversion, although we did that upside down elephant work, which is considered that. So sit cross-legged or straight-legged, and literally all you're gonna do is twist to one side, rotate the spine.
Twisting?
Yep, we're just gonna twist. So you're gonna take your chest to one way and grow tall as you do. Take a big inhale or two. And then other way for another couple big deep breaths. Growing tall so you're not compressing your spine on the twist. Excellent. And then finish by unwinding. I want you to lengthen your legs out on the mat, arms reach out in front of you. This is where you're going to be rolling all the way down, so make sure you have room behind you. Take a big inhale at the top, and then exhale, slowly roll down bone by bone, no plopping. Good. And then your arms are going to reach behind you. All right, so we're coming up for the hundreds. I'm gonna have Christina demonstrate, she's very excited about that, demonstrate the advanced version, sorry. For the rest of you, you're all members here, you've done our classes, so you know the modifications would be keep your feet down or your head down, legs in chair or straight up to the sky, but she's gonna demonstrate the advanced version. So here we go, take an inhale to prepare, exhale, curl up into your best hundreds position. And here we go. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 3, 4, 5. 2. Exhale. 3. Squeeze those legs together. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. This is where it gets really hard. Keep going. Exhale. 9. Exhale. Don't curl down. Hold up there on the exhale here. Now take an inhale. And then exhale, lower down, arms reaching behind you. Getting ready for the roll up. So from here, take a big inhale. If you need your hand weights, this is where you'd want to grab those. I didn't tell you to bring hand weights, but most of you know if you need that for modification to have them available. So you could also use some water bottles or something like that. Maybe even the Pilates ring might help you because you'll be turning your palms in, and that sometimes does help you to protract your shoulder blades. So take a big inhale. Exhale, tip the chin, reach the arms up, curl over. She's going to flex her feet as she stretches forward. Let the head dive right in between the arms. The hands don't lower to the floor classically. And then roll back bone by bone. As she comes down, she'll end up pointing the toes, the arms reaching behind. Here we go again. And rolling up and over, flex, and then big stretch. And then down bone by bone by bone. Good. A few more times. We're going to do 2 more to make it 6, I think. Is that 5?
I think so.
Is it? This one 4? Everybody knows I don't count. And last one here, all the way up and then all the way back down. So stretch forward as far as you can. Inhale there and then exhale, back yourself up, soften those shoulders, curl all the way down, and you can just let your hands come right down by your sides. You doing okay?
Uh-huh.
You need the fan?
It's warm in here, you guys.
All right, so next thing I want you guys to do is extend your legs up to the ceiling. We're not doing the rollover, even though Christina is very capable and some of you are too, but we're gonna just do some reverse crunches. So I'm gonna have you cross your right ankle in front of your left, and then hands stay down by your sides, or maybe under your tailbone if need be, and then you're gonna crunch up and down. So the tail is lifting up, the feet are lifting up. You're trying not to swing your feet over your face. You're trying to just lift straight up, which is super hard. 2 more here for about 8. And then I want you to switch your feet so the other one's in front and go again for 8, 7, 5. You can be inhaling or exhaling to lift the legs. Last 2. And last 1. And then hug those knees in, rock side to side. All right, guys, so hold the right leg in, straighten the left leg down on the floor. The left foot is gonna be flexed. You're gonna point the right toes to the sky. You're gonna do a quick little hamstring stretch here. Just give yourself a stretch. That way you know where the top of this single leg circle will be, where you can try to get to, even without your hands pulling on your leg. And then bring the hands down by your side, toes pointed to the sky, and you cross the midline. Inhale, exhale, circle the leg out to the side and up. Work hard to keep the belly pressed down to the floor. Just like that. Pressing the left heel into the floor, the palms, keeping the chest open. Last 2. And last 1, reversing at the top. Breathing in and out. Good. Is it harder on video because you try to make it look really perfect?
Yep.
And one more time, guys, all the way around. Then she's going to bend her knee on a turned out position, pull that leg into the chest for a little piriformis stretch. And a big breath. And then you're going to lengthen the right leg down on the floor. That foot is flexed. Stretch the left one up to the sky. Give yourself a good hamstring stretch and hold. Relax the shoulders as you're stretching the hamstring. Very nice. Now hands come down, toe points to the sky, and she's going to cross the midline and circle down, around, and up. Breathing in and out. Trying to get, if you're imagining a clock on the ceiling, you're trying to get all the way to the top, to that like 11, 12, 1 o'clock area. When you get to the top of this one, reverse, in and out. Good. Press your belly button towards the floor. I'm gonna have you do one more right here. And then turn out that leg, bend it, pull it in towards you, and stretch. You can use your hands on the back of your leg to help yourself roll up towards the front edge of your mat for rolling like a ball. So if you don't feel comfortable rolling like a ball for low back issues, or just you don't want to do an inversion for maybe vertigo or neck issues, then just balance here with your feet off the floor, knees bent, and just holding the balanced position, keeping the abs scooped. You can also, classically you hold your ankles, but you could also hold your thighs if need be. And then from here, you're gonna tip your chin, look down towards the pubic bone, take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll back to the tip of the shoulder blades. Don't let the head hit the floor, and then roll back up and try to balance without your feet hitting the floor. 5 more times. Inhaling back, exhaling. I think I switched that breath pattern, but I like to inhale back, exhale up. Good. Last 2. And then 1 more, and I want you to make sure you're balancing at the top of this one. So hold at the top. Now you're gonna put your left hand on your right knee. Your right hand reaches for your ankle, your right ankle, and then you extend your left leg out and balance here. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, push your leg into your hands and roll down with control, no plopping. Good, that left leg is hovering in the air, head is curled up, tip of the shoulder blades on the mat, and you're gonna switch for single leg stretch, just like that. Remember that your outside arm always goes to the ankle, so you're switching your hand position every time. If you know the pulse of the ankle, you can do that, but you don't have to. Just use your hands against your leg to help you stay curled up as high as possible. Good. 1 more set, breathing in and out, and then hug those knees in, keep your head up, we're not stopping. So you're gonna inhale, arms and legs apart for double leg stretch. Exhale, circle the arms around, pull the knees in. Inhale, stretch it apart. Exhale, hug in. Keep those kidneys pressed to the floor. Exhale, hug in. Last two. Last one, and no, we're not stopping, or you're not stopping. I'm not either, because I'm talking. So straighten your legs up to the sky, hold on to the back of the right leg, pulse, pulse the left one to the floor, and switch. Pulse, 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 pulse. Inhaling, exhaling. Last one, both legs are gonna be up, stretched up to the sky, hands come behind the head, feet are flexed and turned out. Lower those legs down, 2, 3, 4, and up, 2, 3, 4. Good, inhale them down, and exhale up. 2 more, I'm not making you do too many, because these are miserable. And last one, down, 2, 3, 4, then up, and get ready for crisscross. So you're gonna get into crisscross position, but you're not gonna move. Right knee bends, rotate your chest towards that right leg and hold. Hover the left leg over the floor, it's nice and straight. Before we twist, I want you guys to make sure or rotate I should say, I want you to make sure you have lots of energy shooting out your toes. So here we go. Rotate one side and then the other. Inhaling and exhaling. Make sure your chest is staying open and you're twitching and making your shoulder or your pec muscle come towards your knee. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, curl up high, 2, and 1, and rest down. Take a moment to let your knees fall apart or drop those knees side to side. Yeah, poor Christina, I'm sorry. Remember how you said that when you're doing teacher training, you're like in the best shape of your life? I have a feeling this is gonna bring that back.
I haven't done those in a row like that in a long time.
I know, right? Do you want the fan? You can tell her, Aria can turn it on. Are you okay? Okay. All right, so from here, I'm gonna have you guys roll over to your bellies. You can just flip over. And I'm gonna have you reach your arms out in front of you if you have the space for it, hands wide. Classically, the heels are together. You guys choose for low back issues, possibly to have those feet apart. From here, you guys are gonna slide your hands along your carpet or along your floor as you rise up. I want you to inhale, lift the head slightly, start to rise up, and they come straight in, just to yeah, like so. And you can choose how high you wanna come. Exhale, lower down. So we already did a baby extension. Now you can come a little higher if you need to. I like the arms sliding on the carpet because that you're not pushing yourself up with your arms. You're really kind of having to use your upper back muscles to lift you like this. Just like that. Big inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. And a couple more, and then at some point I'm going to have you stay up at the top. So probably on the next one. So before you come up on this last one, make sure your feet are apart this time, and then glide yourself back up. We're going to go into a swan dive. So Christina, you're going to demonstrate the intermediate version where you catch your hands on the floor every time, not let them fly up and down. So from here, you're gonna let go of the floor, reaching out in front of you, your legs teeter-totter and lift behind you, and then she catches the floor and stops herself at the top. You're gonna do that again. Reach, good. Squeeze the glutes really hard to protect your back. Make sure your belly's tight because you're rolling on it. And 3, good, 2, and 1, very good. Lower down. Rest your forehead on your hands and elbows wide apart, and just wiggle your hips side to side to stretch out your low back. Excellent. So you're going to do single leg kicks. So I want you to come up onto your forearms, shoulders away from the ears, so make sure you're engaged in your upper back where those shoulder blades are squeezing together slightly. If you feel your bottom ribs hanging to the floor, pretend you have like a towel underneath and you're trying to lift away from it so that you're not letting your mid-back arch too much. You're really trying to stay kind of in a line. And then legs are together. All right, so pubic bone pushed down. You're going to bend your right knee and pulse your heel towards your bottom 2 times and then straighten down. You can keep it pointed. So point, point, and extend. Point, point. You're alternating legs. Just like that. Really, this is about the hamstrings. This is for hamstring strength. For a lot of us, it feels super easy. That's okay, it'll get harder in a second. But what I really want you to concentrate on is not sinking in or slouching into your shoulders. She's gonna do point flex on this next set here. So it's point flex, extend down. Point flex, extend. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Couple more. Now be careful on this next set. She's gonna point flex and then she's gonna extend her leg in the air off the floor and then lower it down. So the thigh lifts off the floor when you go to extend it and then you set it down. Making sure she's not sinking into her shoulders, her bottom ribs are lifted, belly's drawn in. Beautiful. Don't let a lot of rotation happen in the hips here either. Sometimes to extend the leg in the air, we feel like we need to lean onto one side to get that lift. Don't do it. Just do your modification. Make it as small a movement as you need to, and then lower down. Rest your forehead on your hands. Wiggle those hips side to side. Gonna do a chest opener here. So we're gonna do double leg kicks. You're gonna clasp your hands behind your back. If you can't do that, just have your hands reach next to you on the floor instead of behind your back with palms to the ceiling. Otherwise, try to clasp at least one or two fingers, or maybe all of them, depending, and palms face the sky. You're gonna pull your hands high up your backside, as high as you can, and let the elbows fall to the floor. So with the legs still squeezed together, go ahead and turn your face to one side. Doesn't matter which way you start with, we're gonna be alternating the face turn every time. So from here, she kicks her heels towards her bottom for 3, 2, 1. Now as the legs extend, she reaches her arms back, looks out in front of her, and then when she lies down, she turns her face to the other way. Kick 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach, look forward, and exhale, lower down. Kick 3, 2, 1. Extend up, lower down. Last one here. 1, 2, 3. Extend back and lower down. And then push back into a child's pose for me. Take a couple big breaths here. So Christina wants to do a plank position. She wants to do a minute hold, so that's for all of you because she knows you all want to do it too. So from here, I'm going to have you guys come up to all fours. Now, if you do get to be on a mat, this may be easier because it's a little bit stickier than a carpet or even a hardwood floor. But regardless, if you're on a mat, I should say, I want you to really kind of go forward on your mat. So when you would lengthen your leg, it's on the mat, not on the carpet, if possible. So from here, hands are right under the shoulders. You're not lifting into your plank yet. I promise this minute it's gonna feel like a long time because in a video, sometimes it really does. But because you're alone, I think, but it's not a long time. You guys have all done it, so you can do it now. She's gonna lengthen one leg back on the floor, toes tucked under to get ready to stand on that foot. But before you lengthen your other leg, first thing I want you all to do is make sure, just like we did in that cat-cow position, tuck the ribs under, pull the belly in, push the floor away from you. When she goes to lengthen her other leg out, her butt shouldn't drop or lift. Everything should stay in one straight line, and I'm watching the clock, so get into position. Remember, modifications are to be on your forearms. Personally, I think that's harder. And then, or down on your knees. And breathe. She's gonna keep pushing the floor away from her, making sure she's kind of almost a little bit rounding the upper back. Sometimes it feels that way for some of us. Keep the head in line with the spine. Do not drop there. Great job. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the belly. If it helps you, you can squeeze your heels together. Sometimes that activation of the inner thighs helps. Keep breathing. Cupping the floor with your hands if you're on your hands. It is warm in here and all I'm doing is talking. So I imagine you're warm too. All right.
Turn the air down.
Okay. Lisa doesn't like me to, is she on here? Is Lisa on here? Because she doesn't like me to tell her how much longer. But you only have 2, 3, and 1. And come down for me. Push back into a child's pose. guys, I want you to lay on your side, probably facing the camera. I'm not gonna tell you which side because it doesn't really matter. I like, when you're doing the side leg series, and we're gonna do some clam as well, I like you to rest your head on your arm, especially when we do some of the leg lift stuff. If that's not comfortable and you prefer to hold your head in your hands, you can, but the neck alignment here, like this, is a little bit better. If you want to challenge yourself, you can have your left or your top arm up to the sky. If that doesn't feel comfortable, just put it on the floor in front of you. Make sure your spine is back, your torso is back a little bit, and your feet are angled a little bit forward. So from here, you're gonna lift your top foot about hip height, and then I want you to swing the leg forward and hold it out there, as far out there as you can. Now little pulses to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it above your other leg and pulse up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg to the back corner of your mat or your room and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing the leg as far forward as you can. Turn your toes to face down and then pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Center the leg and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To the back of your mat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg forward, externally rotate it, toes point to the ceiling, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it to the center and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the back. Be careful on this one. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the center, bring it to a parallel position. Lift your bottom leg up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold them up. Both of them are going to lower and lift. Down and up. And 2. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold them up. Now I want you to walk 1 foot forward, 1 goes back. Bring them together. And the other way. Got it. Inhaling and exhaling. She's working hard in her core to keep her pelvis steady, and she's keeping her top shoulder away from her ear, neck long. Last one, and other way too, I think. And then bring them together, keep them lifted. That bottom leg is gonna stay up unless you need to modify and put it down. She's going into hot potato, tapping her top leg up and over her bottom lifted leg. Good, and last one to the back, bring those legs together. Now her favorite, or better yet, least favorite exercise, sorry. Keep the legs lifted, pull them both in, press them out. Use your core muscles for this. Low abs should be working to pull those legs in, outer thighs working to hold the legs lifted, and inner thighs too. And last one, all the way to the out position and then back in, and we'll go into clam. So bend those legs in for me, rest the legs down. So feet are gonna stay together and the bottom leg is staying on the floor. Open the top knee up and down. Inhaling and exhaling in whatever direction works for you. Good. And smile. Be happy about working your outer hip. Good.
I love these.
You do?
Yes.
No, that's good. Since I need to do the other ones you did well. And then last one, that should be about 10. Now pick the heels up in the air. The heels stay together. The bottom knee stays down. Open and close the top leg. 6, 4, 3, 2. On this one, keep the feet lifted, lower the knee down. So she's gonna lift her top knee, extend the top leg out, put the feet back together, and then lower the knee down. Those feet stay lifted in the air.
I just want to let you all know that during this time of quarantine, Kelly has approached a new level.
I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Can you do one more?
Uh-huh.
She's shaking. And rest down. Tap out your glute. Don't you wish you were doing this already?
I really do.
All right. From here, I want you guys to grab your top ankle, pull that leg back, open up the hip, and just stretch. You can lengthen the bottom leg or keep it bent. Take some big, deep breaths. Feel the air go all the way into the front of that top hip. And release the stretch, roll to your bellies before we come up and go onto the other side. Rest your forehead on your hands, elbows wide apart. And then I want you guys to bring your legs together, heels touching, toes apart, and toes pointed. We're going into grasshopper. So first thing I want you guys to do is float your legs up off the floor, and then you're gonna beat your heels together. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings. Now if you can, keep your forehead and your hands attached, but float your upper body off the floor. And breathe, keep beating. Shoulders away from the ears. Good, belly drawn in, pubic bone pushed down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest down. Push back into a child's pose. And then I'll have you face the camera when you lay on your other side. So laying on your other side, remember what we talked about before, your spine should be at the back of your mat, or your legs should be slightly forward. Rest that head down on your bottom arm. Then I want you guys to float your top leg up to hip height, swing it as far forward as you can and hold it there. So we're doing little pulses right here in space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the way to the front, toes down, heel up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and to the back. And 1, 2, make sure you're breathing. 5, 6, 7, and 8. To the front, heel down, toes up, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the back. 1, 2, squeeze the glutes on this one. 6, 7, 8. Bring it to the center, parallel, hold it lifted just slightly, and bring the bottom one up to it. Up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're gonna hold them up on this one. Good, and then down. Both of them go down and up. Keep those inner thighs squeezed together. Feet can be flexed or pointed for right now. Good, until this one where you lift and hold. Now you're gonna walk 1 foot forward and 1 goes back, and I do want your feet flexed on this one. And stopping in the center every time. If you don't stop in the center, more than likely you're gonna be using momentum. And it's a good way to train your mind to know where your legs are in space by being able to come back to the center every time without looking at your legs, telling them what to do. 1 more each way. Keep those legs lifted when they get together. Pull the knees in and out. and in and out. I skipped hot potato, but don't worry, we're not missing it. Good, do 2 more. And last one, when the legs are extended, keep them straight. Keep the bottom leg lifted and the top one goes into hot potato. If your bottom leg is tired or your hip is hurting, certainly put the leg down, but try to keep it lifted if you can. Lots of energy out that bottom heel, bottom part of your foot. And last 2, one to the front, one to the back. Bring them together, keep them lifted, and pull those knees in, set them down for clam. So the feet stay down and together, and you open and close that top knee. Externally rotating, but not allowing your bottom to roll backwards off of the bottom hip. Try to keep the hips stacked. You won't have a big range of motion on this one, possibly, especially if you have tight hips, but that's okay. 1 more. Good, and then pick those heels up, and here we go again. Breathing in and out. Trying to keep the top shoulder away from your ear. We got 2 more. And last one. And then I want you guys to open up the top knee, keep those feet lifted, extend your leg, bend and put the feet back together, and then lower the knee down. So lift the knee, kick the foot out in front of you, bend and lower. Lift, kick, bend, lower. Keep going. And when the leg comes down, rest down, tap out your hip. And then go ahead and grab your ankle, pull that leg back behind you, open up the front of the hip and the thigh and stretch. Feel like the video goes way faster than a normal class.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the time going, I have so much else I want to do.
You're at 45 minutes.
What'd you say?
I said you're at 45
I
minutes.
know.
We're almost done.
All right, so release that, roll to your backs for teaser. All right, guys, so I'm gonna have you guys start with your legs straight out on the floor, heels squeezed together, hands down by your side and palms lifted. So first thing I'm gonna have you guys do is I want you to make sure that your legs are squeezed tight together so that your back thinks it's only picking up one big ginormous leg and not 2 separate individual legs. All right, so it really does kind of play a trick on your mind and it works. So first thing you're gonna do is inhale, lift your head, look up at your feet, and then exhale, reach up and float those legs up as well. Balance for a moment and then roll down with control. Beautiful. I'm gonna have you do one more plain one and then we'll add some circles at the top. So scoop, curl, and reach, and lift and hold. Beautiful. And roll down. Excellent. And on this one, go ahead and scoop, curl, and reach. Hold up at the top. The arms are going to circle up and open. Beautiful. And 2. One more time. When your hands get to your thighs, you can roll back down. At the top of this one, we'll be reversing those circles. So inhale, then exhale up. And inhale down, the arms go and they open and lift. And 2. Beautiful, one more time. And then roll the body down. Awesome. Bend the knees, plant your feet on the mat. Shift your hips to the right side of your mat. Straighten the left leg. Bend the right knee in a chair position. With your left hand on your right knee, roll that leg across the body. Look to the right, reach your right arm out to the side, and just stretch and breathe and hold. Take one more big deep breath right there. And then engage your abdominal muscles before you unwind. And then with the feet planted on the floor, shift your hips to the other side. Lengthen the right leg, bend the left one in chair. Right hand grabs the left knee and you roll your leg across your body. Rotating in the midsection, reaching out with your left arm and turning your face to the left. Breathing deep, trying to relax into the stretch. Take one more big deep breath right there. And then I want you to unwind, settle back into the mat. Do you like a circle for leg stretches? Okay. So you can use a theraband, a belt, like we said earlier, or if you have a Pilates ring, use that. You're gonna put your right foot up inside whatever prop you have, and then lengthen the left leg down on the floor. And I like to turn, if you're holding the circle, or even the band really, I like to turn my palms to face my face to relax the shoulders. And you're gonna stretch your hamstring. So you've all done this with me, no matter what class you're in, because I do these a lot, because they are so, it's a really good way, especially with all the hip and glute work we just did. It's a good thing to do to stretch your leg muscles out, because those big leg muscles pull on our low backs. And the low back screams out in pain, but this is a really good way to actually alleviate back pain by stretching your leg muscles. And usually you want to hold these for anywhere from 30 seconds up to 2 minutes long. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter. And then I want Christina to, because she's really flexible, obviously, you guys can see she's in a big split position, but she's going to back up her leg, hold on with just her left hand, because the right foot's in the circle, and the right hand comes down. So when she goes to cross the midline, I don't want her leg to pull up towards her face right now. I want it pretty perpendicular to the ceiling, and she's going to keep her footprint flat and cross the midline. Try to keep the pelvis level so that you're not rolling onto your left hip. The back of the right hip stays down. And then if she still doesn't feel a good enough stretch, she can always pull her leg up a little higher towards her left shoulder if she needs to. Me neither. The stretch never gets easier. Step out of the way. Yeah, we'll be out of the way this way. I don't know. You're probably so flexible, your foot's gonna go that way, right? So now she's gonna switch hands and let her leg go open to the side. If you want, you can bend your other knee and turn it out as a modification to help keep your pelvis level. And breathe, relax the hips open. Take one more big deep breath. And then pull that leg up to the ceiling and switch to the other foot. Hamstring stretch first. Relax the shoulders. Let the head fall into the mat. Few more seconds, take another big deep breath. And then she's gonna back the leg up because she's real flexible. If your leg is already backed up, go ahead and cross the midline. So opposite hand holding on to the strap or the circle, the belt, whatever you have. Try to keep the pelvis as level as you can, and the left shoulder blade should stay flat on the mat. One more big deep breath here. And then you'll open that leg to the side. You can bend your opposite knee on a turnout if you want to. And then just settle into this inner thigh stretch. And then one more big deep breath. Exhale, lift that leg to the ceiling. Put both feet in the strap or the circle. And pull those legs towards you. Give yourself a big stretch for the low back. Take a big inhale, and on your exhale, you can use some momentum and press into the circle of the strap to help yourself rock back up. Excellent. So you can set your circle down and then go ahead and sit to face the camera for me. You can sit cross-legged or straight-legged, whatever's comfortable for you. We're gonna finish with a couple more stretches. So from here, I want you guys to have your hands down by your side, palms face away from you. Take a big inhale, lift those arms up to the ceiling. I want you to grab your left wrist with your right hand and then side stretch over to the right, pulling on that hand or wrist. Inhale, rise up, switch hands at the top, and stretch over to the left. Good, anchoring through the right sit bone. Inhale, rise up. Arms, as they lower, you're going to be twisting to the right. So as your arms reach out to the side, twist to the right. Use your hands on your leg and the floor behind you to give yourself a good twist. Look back as far as you can. Now keep your spine turned as far as you can, but turn your face over your front shoulder to rotate the cervical spine in the opposite direction. Belly drawn in, you're sitting right on top of your sit bones. And then when you look to the back again, see if you can twist just a little bit more through the midsection. Head high, shoulders low. Take one more big deep breath there. You're gonna, when you release, you're gonna inhale the arms to the ceiling and come to center. And then as you exhale, rotate to the other side, hands come down and twist. Looking back as far as you can, noticing the differences in the sides and your ability to turn one way or the other. Then I want you to look over your front shoulder, but keep your spine twisted to the back. Take a big deep breath or two here. Again, belly drawn in to protect your back as you're twisted. And then when you look over your back shoulder, see if you can turn a little bit more through the midsection. And breathe deep. When you unwind, raise those arms to the sky. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, settle those arms down to your side. And you guys did it. Yay! Good job.